Let's move on to Saturday, the 23rd, where we have Carlton take it on the Lions in Brisbane at 5:15 p.m. So early that morning, 5:28 a.m., we will have the quarter moon in Sagittarius. Not a good aspect. However, the moon will go void at 5:31 a.m. and it will move into Capricorn at 6:17 a.m., which is an excellent energy shift for the day because it's going to bring in, concentration, determination, responsible behavior, serious work ethics. It wants duty, it wants mature focus on our purpose. And it really puts us into work mode. Okay, it can be quite a solitude kind of energy because of that work mode. So, you know, an interesting vibe for football. Then we get to 9:43 a.m. The moon is trining Saturn, which is another great aspect. Okay, this is another sense of responsibility, another increase in that organizational talent, and in the way that we pursue goals, the way that we take care, and we are deliberate with our actions. It's also a really good. It's a good time to kind of talk about spirituality as well, which is very interesting because the aspects on the Saturday are very juicy. Okay. So also on Saturday, the sun moves to Libra, which is the equinox down here, and it is a huge shift in energy. So the overall energy of Saturday, because of some of the really intense aspects, will play a huge part in the games on the game on Saturday night, in my opinion. So I think Brisbane's Libra energy will really struggle with the seriousness of a Capricorn moon. Okay, Carlton's Taurus energy, which is an earth energy, Capricorn is also earth. It's very grounded in the same way. And both of the energies are quite focused and determined and hardworking, whereas a Libra energy, prefers to take the easy way out and is kind of more of a party pleasure kind of energy. But Taurus energy is not afraid to dig its bullhorns in and do what needs to be done. And, it likes to support, it likes to give a great support to its family dynamic. And I mean, if you look at Doherty from last week, there's that Taurus bullhorn supporting its family energy, okay? So Capricorn moon is very supportive of that style of energy. Brisbane will have that benefit of the sun moving to Libra at 4:49. So being a Libra team and the sun moving to Libra, it will really light them up. Brisbane also have a number of Libra placements across their chart, and also Mars, our masculine energy, is in Libra. So our action and initiative kind of energy is quite forceful. And then we have that sun moving to Libra, just kind of lighting that up a little bit more. However, there is a risk with this Libra energy of being too much Libra energy, okay? And it does make it quite susceptible to fall into one of the most addictive natures of Libra, which is that need for external validation, all right? So the supporters of this game will, in my opinion, be a vital part in the energy of how these players move, okay? And that Taurus energy, it's empowered by knowing its value in the family. And that Libra energy is empowered by that external validation. So they're both getting empowered by this Libra moving in, the sun moving into Libra, but in very different ways. So the equinox energy is going to solidify that Taurus energy of all the changes that it's made to its overall style, which for Carlton, anyone who's watched that journey, solidifying those changes for this preliminary final is only going to empower them further to dig their heels in and work hard. And it's going to push the Libra energy into more of a craving for peace and pleasure. So coming up against a more stubborn and determined Taurus, which is what that equinox vibe is going to give, is going to be a difficult energy for Libra to try and search for pleasure and peace in, okay? Carlton also have the benefit of support from Jupiter. So Jupiter, which is our planet of abundance, our planet of expansion, our planet of ambition, it is in Taurus right now, and so is Uranus, okay? And both of the teams, however, are activated by their masculine energy because Venus is their ruler and it is in Leo, okay? So there's some very similar support, but the way that Taurus and Libra look at the support is very different, which is just one of the things that makes this so interesting to me. So let's get to this part that I found just next level juicy, okay? I think the most interesting aspect on this day and how it will affect this game is the sun in Virgo still, right? So this is just before we shift into Libra. So the sun will just still be in Virgo and it is going to meet up with Jupiter at a very interesting degree. Okay, so the sun will be at 29 degrees of Virgo and Jupiter will be at 14 degrees of Taurus. And I know I've probably lost you here, but stay with me because this gets very interesting. So this aspect that's forming between the sun and Jupiter is an energy of your self-control being challenged, okay? It is something that gives us, instead of someone who wants to take proactive steps to prepare, it gives us this tendency to kind of rely on this belief that we can fix it later. So with that belief comes this push into procrastination, and it wants us to take the easy way out, the quickest route, to achieve the goals instead of putting in the necessary effort and discipline that it would take. These things that this aspect is bringing up are very common expressions in the primitive of a Libra archetype. And it could affect this Brisbane energy by pushing those values, those primitive expressions of wanting to take the easy way out, of not wanting to put in the work. It could really push that into the extreme. And when you look at that with the Taurus energy, specifically with how the collective of the Carlton team has solidified its collective vibe, it doesn't like to take the easy way out, okay? It really doesn't. It wants to dig its heels in and it wants to earn the win, okay? Taurus energy is very stubborn about that. And even though it does value comfort and it does value luxury, that Taurus energy, it's the bull. It wants to put in the hard work. And so it isn't really shaken off its path once it has that set in its mind and it has its plan. That's what makes it be able to move forward, is the stubbornness around a Taurus energy to find the path that works best for them. Then they latch onto it. They become very possessive about it and they are very hard to shake from that belief system. And so even though they will be offered this energy of procrastination, take the easy way out, Taurus prefers to use what it knows. And Taurus energy, specifically this collective vibe of the Carlton team, it knows hard work. So I think this aspect is really going to affect the Brisbane Libra energy. And I don't really think it's going to play that much into the Taurus energy of Carlton. But it gets more juicy than that, okay? So stay with me here because this was the most exciting find for me. In astrology, the 29th degree, which is where the sun will be in this aspect, is an indication of completing an important phase in life. And it is known as the degree of fate. It is lessons learned and it is consolidated. And as Pom has yelled at us this whole time, you can't fight destiny. So I find it very intriguing that this aspect is happening at the 29th degree, the degree of fate. The other planet, Jupiter in Taurus, is going to be at the 14th degree, okay? And in astrology, the 14th degree indicates a great sense of accomplishment, and it is known as the Taurus degree. Degree of fate, Taurus degree, making an aspect. that is about consolidating lessons learned within family dynamics. I can't even deal with that. I can't even deal with how magical that is. So, the universal energy, the collective energy that I know the Carlton supporters are going to bring to this game, it hands down for me puts the energy with Carlton. And as I've been saying this whole time, the Carlton team and its supporter base, in my personal opinion, as reading the energy from the universe and whatever divine spirit wants to talk through me, it's been tasked to be the change in the collective mentality. And because of that, I highly advise the supporters and anybody involved in the team to stay in this positive knowing that they're going to win this. Because karmic smackdown master Saturn and Big Daddy Capricorn are standing on the sidelines and they are waiting to punish anyone that acts dishonorably. And we have seen that happen. We have seen that happen. We have seen teams lose control of their honor when playing the game, and they are missing kicks they shouldn't be missing. And they are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. And that's what we're looking at here, okay? We are looking at the karmic smackdown, and I'm telling you, they are waiting on the sidelines to punish for this. So I think because of this journey and the mission that the universe has tasked the Carlton team with, I think part of that mission is also to be curse breakers, because in order to transmute this negative energy into a positive and flip this collective vibe on its head, we need to be breaking curses. And so individually, there is also an energy of being genetic curse breakers, not just within the team, but within the whole dynamic of the collective across the whole world, okay? This energy shift into breaking genetic curses and genetic karmas are being wiped out in order to shift this dynamic into the age of Aquarius, which is where Pluto is trying to push us, okay? So all of these outdated beliefs, you know, we have seen Carlton cross so many of them off the list, okay? So this one about Brisbane never being beaten at home, it just seems to me like it's going to have to be one that gets crossed off the list as well. And the deep dive into that Libra energy and its need for external validation really plays into that idea of never being beaten at home. I think unfortunately for Brisbane, the collective energy of the Carlton supporters, and now where we're at, all of the other supporters who are not Carlton supporters but who also do not want to support Brisbane, I think that's going to give us that other level. I think there's going to be some sort of Victoria versus Queensland energy going on, which is only going to increase the collective supporter vibe for Carlton, okay? So let's bring these hard-working young men home with support, with love, because honestly, how did they get here? I don't want to say I jumped on the bandwagon, but it would kind of look like that. I really kind of came to this through divine intervention, I guess. I think it just has found itself to me. I think these young men, particularly the Carlton team, particularly the new wave of supporters that have come through, are a change in the collective, are a change in the world, and are part of the whole shift into the new world, into the age of Aquarius, into being more emotionally responsible in relation to the effect of the collective energy. And I'm proud of all of them. I am proud of every single one of them. And if you've watched any of my other videos, like there's a lot of energy going on specifically for young men of that age. Their ability to push through the way that they have and to get their supporter base to this preliminary final where they are now being put in a position to cross this idea, this solidified idea of Brisbane not being beaten at home, and to somehow get themselves from one end of the ladder to being one game away from a grand final, the way the supporter base has traveled with them and has been tested and tested, and they just keep showing that they want to pass these universal tests of understanding that collective positivity. And we've seen the effect. And every time I watch a Carlton game, I can see the wave. You know, you can feel it. And a lot of the supporters that I see on the fan cams and, you know, on social media talking about it, they talk about feeling the energy and how it affects the team, and that roller coaster vibe of like, when the energy is up, the team dynamic solidifies. And when that collective energy starts to drop, they become a little bit more unsure of themselves. And in relation to these two teams, that is going to be a huge effect, okay? The Taurus energy needs you to believe in it as a solidified family and give it unconditional love, okay? That is what Taurus needs from you, the supporter base of Carlton. Unconditional love. The Libra energy wants beauty, wants external validation. So its supporter base provides, I guess, like a shining light. So whereas Taurus is that it needs it deeply, okay? It needs your unconditional love deeply as a collective, and it needs it projected at them. The Libra energy needs that too, but it is a more external need for them. So the effect of the collective energy across both of these teams is huge. And whereas because Taurus is such a deep need for unconditional love and Libra is such an external need for validation, the effect that the Queensland supporters, that the Brisbane supporters will have on that Taurus energy is very little, okay? Because the Taurus vibe, it only protects its own. And so it's only concerned about how its family feels about it, which is the supporters. Okay, whereas the Libra energy, wanting external validation, not only cares about how its people sees it and needs it to be seen and adored and praised for how beautiful and perfect and wonderful and shiny it is, but it will also be affected in the negative by the support that the Carlton energy will give to its family, and also to any kind of negative projections towards them. So this includes like anytime they fuck up, anytime they feel like they've made a mistake, like that will affect them greatly because of that need for external validation. So just be very aware of pulling in negative karma about being dishonorable about the way you're supporting the team or, you know, heckling the other team. Be honorable about it and really try and embody that whole concept that we saw Carlton against the Demons do, where they kept being pushed and pushed to act dishonorably, and they did not falter. They did not falter from that. They stayed in their honor. They didn't get any of the karmic smackdowns that we saw the Demons get, okay? So honorable about the way that you support and unconditionally love this team, and honorable about the way we are heckling, okay? We want it lighthearted. We don't want to be coming at it. We don't want to be mean, okay? We don't want mean energy around, because I'm telling you, Big Daddy Saturn and Mr. Capricorn are waiting for a karmic smackdown, and we do not want Carlton to go out that way. I think the energy's with them. I've said it from the start. I think the universe wants them to win. I think Collingwood GWS will be very close, but I think GWS have the energy support, and I think it's going to be a GWS Carlton grand final, which is going to be very interesting. So I think everyone, let's just stay safe, stay positive, stay honorable, and let's go, Blues.